I think like everybody in college basketball, it's been kind of a long week. You know, everybody's ready to get conference play started. And even for some SEC teams, they don't play until next Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's been about a 7-day break. But our team's had some really, really good, energized, focused practices. And we'll have kind of our last real physical practice today and then go in the morning and head up to Nashville.
How many times did you play at Vanderbilt as middle coach?
Let me see. I think it was 3 times. 3 times. We won once, lost twice, and we beat Kevin's team one time in Bridgestone. I think it was twice, I believe. And I think Vanderbilt maybe came to Murphy Center twice.
I know Darius got hurt, but what's allowed Vanderbilt to bounce back from that and really play pretty well here?
I mean, they're getting great point guard play again. Saban Lee is playing about as good as anybody right now. Very explosive, makes some unbelievable athletic plays at the rim. And it did, you know, they lost a game that he got hurt against Kent State. And you can imagine it's the whole building. And so, but after that, they've regrouped. And their 2 losses against 2 really good teams. You know, K-State in Kansas City and then NC State, who's a top 15, 20 team. They got 9 guys that all play about starter minutes. They had real good balance. But I would say probably their biggest key is that the guy who replaced Darius Garland is playing at a real high level.
Overall, in terms of matchup, I mean, when you look at the teams currently constructed going up against this team, where are the matchup advantages or where you have to see guys perform?
Yeah, you know, number one, I just think we've got to do a good job on their perimeter. They've got pick and pop 4s, you know, and they've got some guys who can really, really shoot it. They shoot for a good percentage. They make 8 or 9 threes in a game. The one thing that sticks out to me, I think Vanderbilt's guarding really well. I mean, their defensive field goal percentage is one of the best in our league, and so that's probably the biggest improvement that I've seen in their team watching like the last 5 or 6 games.
What's the latest with Franco?
Yeah, I just met with Franco today. He's still got a little part of the stress fracture in his kneecap that hasn't healed yet. He was making some good progress, and he went to Bridgestone and warmed up and felt good and came down on it wrong in a layup line or something, and so he's completely shut down again. You know, it may be 4 to 6 weeks before he's back out on the floor. They're just trying to get him completely healed, and then we'll evaluate him at that time.
So realistically, is this probably a lost season for him?
Oh, yes, he's done. Yeah, he's done. We talked about it today. No doubt it'll be a red shirt year, and, you know, I think he's talked to his folks. Now, I really didn't, after about middle of December, I didn't see much chance, you know. And if he could have been completely, totally healthy middle of December, right before the break, I could have seen it. But yeah, he'll definitely not play basketball this year here.
With guys like Brian and Zach, and Luis, you've talked about trying to build depth and stuff. You've talked about it a lot all year. You've obviously been trying to do it. Where does that stand as you get ready for league play?
It's about the same it did a month ago, 2 months ago. And nobody will put their head in front of the other 2. I mean, Zach Naylor will play, I thought, made some progress in the Florida Gulf Coast game and come back and not practice great. His energy level is not great. Luis Rodriguez going through a learning curve. You know, we like his physicalness and his toughness. Brian Helms, he's kind of, you know, Scooter's had some little injuries, some setbacks, and, you know, so we're just where we need one of those guys. We're still in the same spot. I think they've all gotten better, but nobody will just beat another one out. You know, and just say, yep, that's the minutes I'm going to get. Because they could get, this quality, they could get 10, 15 minutes in a game to really try to help us.
Playing guards as efficiently as Vanderbilt is right now, does that put more emphasis on patience offensively for you guys, or how do you approach that with these guys?
Yeah, we'll just play at the same pace we played. You know, Parrish, we're averaging right at 80 points a game. Our offensive efficiency is really, really good. I like the pace of our team. We're starting to differentiate a little bit from really trying to push it up and score in transition, which you really need to do in the SEC. But if not, being able to have ball movement, get the thing to second, third, and fourth side. And so I kind of like the pace that we play, you know. The big key at Vanderbilt really is really getting back. And they score almost 30% of their points in transition when they win. And there are a couple losses, the teams have done a really good job of getting back, and they don't get as many cheap baskets. So that'll be another big part of that.
You've compensated for Franco being out all year, and Bree can handle the ball. He's obviously the point guard for the previous 2 years of his career, but does it change in any way your approach as far as the spring signing period or whatever, just to get another body in there that can handle the ball behind the Devontae?
Yeah, we just need to get Franco healthy to evaluate him, to see. What is his longevity of really, playing healthy? And that's all we're trying to find right now. And I know he wants that worse than anybody. And we have evaluated recruiting because of it, and we turned down, a guy or two in the early signing, because expecting Franco to return. And we just hope he gets healthy, and we'll go from there.
Kind of guide and guide. I know it's a random question, but what's Carlos? How's his development?
He's doing good. Carlos is doing good. And Riley has done an unbelievable job with him in the weight room. He's made a lot of progress. Carlos is doing a lot of the scouting. He's learned more plays this year than he ever has in his whole life. His mind is smoking a little bit, but he has really done well. He's starting to catch balls, finish balls better, and so we're proud of the progress he's made.
You've always said that your philosophy is you need to be constantly developing bigs. Is Carlos kind of a good first example of what you mean by that?
Yeah, we sure hope so. He needs to make a lot more progress in the next 3 or 4 months in this spring semester, but he is. You kind of look, okay, if you put Carlos in the senior class right now in high school, where would he get recruited, in a high school game? And so, if you start looking at it that way, he's a good prospect, with a ways to go. But when we signed him, we knew it'd be the same way whether he was at Middle Tennessee or at Ole Miss. He's going to be a guy that needs some time because all the other tools are there.
I know you're focused on Vanderbilt and SEC play, but along the lines of what Ben's asking, how involved do you think at this moment you'll have to be in the grad transfer market this spring?
Yeah, I was just talking to Ross about that a little bit ago. I just think that our team needs to get older in a couple areas, and I think it's somebody that everybody has their eye on that market, and there'll be guys available for sure. Last year we couldn't get in it, but this year, and a lot of that too bases kind of on the progress, of some guys over the next 2 months of the season. So, yeah, but that's one thing I think every staff in America's got their ear to the ground, and will be listening and kind of watching what happens in that market.
What are the challenges of that market? Because it's not it's a big group, but it's it's a lot of teams that want to fill immediate needs. What are the real challenges of the grad transfer market?
Well, I wasn't a great proponent of the rule years ago, and I've only had one, and it was Nick King, and he was third-team All-American, and we didn't seem like we had a lot of luck of getting them at middle. We're trying to get the ones that always seemed like they'd go to Power 5. That's where they wanted to go, and so. The biggest thing is just evaluating the character. Is he unselfish? Is he really going for the right reasons to win? And so all of those things will be kind of critical if we decide to go in that direction. The talent level, you obviously evaluate talent, but I just really think all those other things, because you see some grad transfers, they go and it's not a great fit. Maybe a guy's going to try to score and put up numbers, and then you see others that, they really are coming and affect winning in a good way, like Nick King did us. He did both. And so I think all that stuff really runs a key figure, especially where we are in our program with a lot of young guys in the program.
You talk about those young guys. You brought up the way Vandy's fours play on the perimeter with Blake and KJ being kind of younger defenders. What's the stress for them this week for having to defend that sort of offense?
Yeah, they've got a young guy, they're freshmen, should do it, and he's terrific. He's great. He hadn't shot it for a great percentage from three, hadn't made one yet, but boy, he is skilled. He takes the ball, he makes good decisions. He's one of the best young big passers I've seen in a while. He averages 7 or 8 rebounds a game, so he's another freshman that's a high-level player. They've got the transfer from Notre Dame, who's really good. Pick and pop, will play some small forward. So they've got a good collection. Our guys just got to be themselves, but they got to understand the physical play night in and night out. It's fixing to come. And Blake's got to rebound the ball better. KJ's got to make better decisions with the ball.
How do you prepare those young guys for their first road trip within conference?
Yeah, you hope that Butler, Cincinnati, Baylor, even at Illinois State, nothing really is the same as is a league game. It really isn't, you know, especially Vanderbilt because it's just a different deal, you know. But you just hope all the physical practices we've been through, that the game assimilations that we've had in practice, the experience they've got, you know, prepares them for Vanderbilt and all the other road games to come.
More questions? All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.